Ma'am, I need you to turn around, place your hands on the counter, now.
Officer, I haven't done anything. He called because I was browsing.
Store manager says you're acting suspicious. Hands on the counter, let's not make this difficult.
My ID is in
My
my
name
pocket.
is Naomi Carter, I'm an attorney. You can tell me all that after you're secured. Turn around.
This is a mistake. You are making a huge
mistake would
right
be
now.
Kyle had no idea what he just walked into. In the next 18 minutes, he would lose his job, his reputation, and his career. The woman he just called the cops on didn't just shop there. She owned the entire chain, all 247 stores across North America. Naomi Carter wasn't just any CEO. She was a self-made billionaire. She built her luxury retail empire from a single store 15 years ago. Forbes ranked her among the top 50 most powerful women in business. She'd been on the cover of Time magazine twice. And the store's security cameras were recording everything, every word, every assumption, every bad decision Kyle made. Before I continue, let me ask you this. Have you ever been followed in a store because of how you looked? Drop your answer in the comments. But Kyle had no idea who he was talking to. Naomi Carter was 42 years old. She was the founder and CEO of Lux & Lane. Her company was worth $900 million. She started with one small store in Chicago 15 years ago. She had saved $50,000. She turned that into an empire. Today, she owns 247 stores in the US and Canada. She employs over 6,000 people. Naomi went to the Wharton School of Business. She got her MBA there. Before starting her company, she worked at Nordstrom for 8 years. She was a buyer. She knew the business inside and out. She's an expert on how companies should run. She sits on the board of 3 major retail companies. She's given TED Talks about making stores fair for everyone. She's known in the industry for treating workers well. She's spoken out against racism in retail. Here's what Kyle didn't know. Naomi often visits her own stores in regular clothes. She wants to see how her staff treats normal customers. She wasn't testing anyone today. She just wanted to buy a gift. On this Tuesday morning in October, Naomi was just trying to shop. She had no plan, no test. She just wanted to find something nice for her sister's birthday. Now here's what happened next. Kyle Peterson had a reputation at the Lux & Lane store in downtown Chicago, and it wasn't a good one. Kyle was 34 years old. He'd been the store manager for 2 years. Before that, he worked at other high-end stores. He made $78,000 a year plus bonuses. He thought he was good at his job. But here's the truth. 7 complaints had been filed against Kyle in 18 months. 6 of them involved racial profiling. Every single one was against Black or Latino customers. In March, he called security on a black teenager. She was shopping for a prom dress with her mom. Turns out her mom was a local attorney. She filed a complaint. Kyle just got coaching. In June, he followed a Latino couple for 45 minutes. He accused them of trying to steal. They were local business owners. They spent $3,000 that day. HR made Kyle take an online diversity class. In August, he demanded ID from a black customer before she could buy anything. That's not company policy, she complained. Kyle claimed it was for security. The staff knew about Kyle's behavior. They called him Officer Kyle behind his back. 3 workers had reported him to the assistant manager. They said he treated certain customers differently, but nothing changed. Let me know in the comments, do you think companies ignore complaints too often? Type yes or no. But this time was different. This time, Kyle didn't just profile a customer, he profiled the woman who owned the company, and there would be no more coaching sessions to save him. It was Tuesday, October 17, 2023. The time was 9:47 in the morning. The Lux & Lane flagship store sits on Michigan Avenue in Chicago. It's a huge space, 12,000 square feet, high ceilings, marble floors, designer displays everywhere. It was a quiet Tuesday morning. Soft jazz played in the background. Only 4 customers were in the store. The staff was restocking items from the busy weekend. Sunlight came through the big windows. Kyle Peterson was working that morning. So was Jennifer Torres, the assistant manager. She'd been with the company for 7 years. 3 sales workers were there too, Marcus, Bethany, and Claire. At 9:47 a.m. exactly, Naomi walked in. The security cameras caught it all. She wore Nike running pants and a big Columbia fleece. She had on a baseball cap. She wore almost no makeup. She'd just finished a 5-mile run. She only had her phone and credit card in her pocket. Jennifer looked up when Naomi came in, but she didn't recognize her boss without business clothes. Naomi walked to the handbag section. She looked at the bags quietly. She picked up a Valentino clutch. She checked the stitching. She was just shopping. Kyle noticed her from across the store. He started walking toward her. He walked faster when she touched a second bag. He stopped 6 feet away. He crossed his arms. Naomi felt someone watching. She turned around. She smiled at Kyle. He didn't smile back. If stories like this matter to you, hit subscribe. We post new vid. EOS every week. That's when everything changed. Kyle made a choice that would cost him everything. He walked up to Naomi. His voice was cold. Is there something I can help you find, or are you just looking? Naomi stayed calm, just browsing, looking for a gift for my sister. Well, just so you know, everything in this section is pretty expensive. Naomi looked at him. I can see the price tags, thanks. Kyle's tone got sharper. Right, it's just, people don't usually come in dressed like that for this kind of stuff. I was out jogging, didn't realize there was a dress code for customers. Kyle stepped closer. We cater to a specific type of customer here. Naomi stayed patient. I understand, I'm part of that type. Naomi picked up a bag worth $12,000. She wanted to look at the clasp. Kyle moved even closer. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to put that down. I'm thinking about buying it. I'm allowed to look at things. You're not allowed to handle items you can't afford. Naomi's voice got firmer. You're making guesses about what I can afford. I'm making observations based on behavior. What behavior? Shopping. Suspicious activity, and I don't need to explain myself to you. Kyle pulled out his phone. I'm calling the police. Naomi couldn't believe it. For what? I'm a customer in a store. You're making other customers uncomfortable. You need to leave. Naomi looked around. Only 3 other customers were there. None of them were paying attention. Which customers? No one else seems worried. Kyle spoke into his phone. Yes, I need police at Lux and Lane on Michigan. I have a suspicious person refusing to leave. Across the store, Marcus's mouth dropped open. He started walking toward them. Bethany whispered to Claire, "Oh my God, is he serious?" A white customer nearby stopped shopping. She turned to watch. She looked uncomfortable with what Kyle was doing. Kyle stood between Naomi and the exit. He blocked her path. Naomi raised her phone. I'm recording this. You're not allowed to film in here. Actually, this is a public retail space. Kyle's face turned red. His voice got louder. I am the manager. I'm telling you to stop. Type justice if you think what Kyle did was wrong. What Kyle didn't know was this. Jennifer Torres had just come back from the stock room. She'd just finished corporate training 2 weeks earlier. That training included videos from the CEO, videos featuring the exact woman Kyle was yelling at right now. Jennifer walked around the corner. She was carrying a tablet with the inventory system. She saw Naomi and froze. The tablet almost fell from her hands. Her face went completely white. She whispered to herself, "Oh no, oh no, 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 no." Jennifer rushed forward. Kyle, stop. Stop talking right now. Kyle looked annoyed. Jennifer, I'm handling this. Go back to. That's Naomi Carter. I don't care what her name is. She needs to. Jennifer's voice shook. That's Naomi Carter, our CEO, the owner. Silence filled the store. Kyle's face changed. Confusion, disbelief, then horror. What? No, she's the CEO doesn't look like. He stopped talking. He realized what he was about to say. Naomi stayed completely calm. No, please continue. The CEO doesn't look like what? Kyle started stammering. I just meant, I didn't recognize, you weren't dressed. I wasn't dressed like a CEO should dress. Is that what you meant? Marcus stepped forward. He's a black man. He's 28 years old. Ms. Carter, I'm so sorry. Kyle has done this before. Kyle snapped at him. Marcus, you're out of line. No, I'm tired of staying quiet. He followed a black teenager around for an hour last spring. Her mother filed a complaint. Nothing happened. A customer walked up. Her name was Sarah Chen. She's 45. She's a lawyer. I watched this whole thing. This manager racially profiled her from the moment she walked in. I'm an attorney. I'd be happy to give a statement. She handed Naomi a business card. Bethany spoke up too. She's a white woman. She's 24. Her voice shook, but she was determined. Kyle told me last month that I should watch certain types more carefully. He literally has a mental list of which customers to follow. The store has 12 HD security cameras. Jennifer pulled up the footage on her tablet right away. It showed Kyle tracking Naomi's movements for 8 minutes before he said a word to her. Naomi had her phone recording the whole fight. Sarah Chen recorded the last 3 minutes on her phone too. The store system showed Kyle called police at 9:53 a.m. 2 Chicago police officers walked in at 10:02 a.m. Officer Rodriguez and Officer Thompson. Kyle ran up to them. Officers, thank you for coming, this woman. Jennifer cut him off. Officers, there's been a mistake, a serious mistake. Naomi stayed calm. I'm Naomi Carter. I own this company. This manager called you because I was shopping while black in my own store. Wait until you hear what the officer found on the security cameras. Kyle started talking fast. He tried to take it all back. Ms. Carter, I had no idea. If I had known. If you had known I was the CEO, you would have treated me differently. That's not what I meant. But you would have treated me differently. That's exactly the problem. Kyle tried one more time. I was just following security rules. Jennifer spoke up. We have no rule that says what you just did. None. Let me know what you think Kyle deserves in the comments. By now Kyle understood how badly he messed up. He hadn't just profiled a customer. He'd exposed a pattern of racism in front of his CEO, in front of witnesses, in front of police, in front of security cameras. And he did it to the one person who could actually fire him and change every policy in the company. Officer Rodriguez is a 15-year veteran. He asked what happened. Kyle started explaining about suspicious behavior. Rodriguez stopped him. Ma'am, are you the CEO of this company? Naomi said yes. She showed her driver's license. She showed her corporate ID card. The officers looked at Jennifer's tablet. They watched the security footage. They saw Kyle follow Naomi for 8 full minutes. They watched him block her path. They saw him make everything worse. Officer Thompson shook his head. Sir, she was shopping. I don't see any suspicious behavior here. Kyle tried to explain. She was touching expensive stuff. Rodriguez cut him off. In a store where customers touch things to buy them. Kyle's story fell apart fast. He said Naomi was acting strange and making other customers nervous. The footage showed Naomi calmly looking at bags. Other customers weren't even paying attention until Kyle showed up. Kyle said Naomi refused to identify herself when he asked. The footage had audio. Kyle never asked for ID. He just made guesses about whether she could afford things. Kyle claimed he was following standard security rules for expensive items. Jennifer pulled up the company manual on her tablet. No such rule exists. Company policy clearly says customers can handle all items in the store. Rodriguez looked at Kyle. You called 911 for a fake emergency. That's a crime. Thompson added, you also blocked someone's exit. That's unlawful detention. Rodriguez turned to Naomi. Ma'am, how would you like to handle this? Naomi looked at Kyle. Her voice was steady. Kyle Peterson, you're fired, starting right now. Jennifer, please escort him off the property. He has 10 minutes to get his personal items from the office. Kyle's eyes went wide. You can't fire me. I'll sue for wrongful termination. You racially profiled a customer. You called police under false reasons. You violated company policy. You created a hostile workplace. Illinois is an at-will employment state. Yes, I can fire you. Kyle went through all the stages. Denial. This is a misunderstanding. Anger. This is reverse discrimination. Bargaining. Please, I have a mortgage. I made a mistake. Desperation. I'll apologize. I'll take training, please. Naomi didn't change her mind. Marcus brought Naomi water. She sat down on the display furniture. Now that the adrenaline was fading, she looked shaken. Sarah Chen sat with her. She offered legal support. Jennifer kept apologizing. I should have recognized you sooner. I should have. Naomi stopped her. This isn't your fault, but we need to talk about why Kyle felt comfortable doing this in the first place. Jennifer closed the store for the rest of the day. She called corporate HR right away. She told the senior leadership team. She started securing all the security footage. If you want to see more stories where people face real consequences, hit that subscribe button. But the consequences were just beginning. Sarah Chen wasn't just watching, she'd been recording. Within an hour, her husband would have the story. He's a journalist for the Chicago Tribune. By evening, the footage would be everywhere. At 11:30 a.m., Sarah Chen's husband published an article on the Chicago Tribune website. The headline read, "Black CEO called police in her own store." By 12:15 p.m., video footage was uploaded to Twitter. It got 50,000 views in the first hour. By 1:00 p.m., it was trending on Twitter in Chicago. The hashtag was Luxandlane Racism. By 2:30 p.m., local Chicago news stations were calling for interviews. By 4:00 p.m., national outlets wanted to talk. CNN, MSNBC, ABC News, all of them. By 6:00 p.m., the story led the local evening news on 3 major Chicago stations. By midnight, the video had 2.7 million views. It was on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Twitter had 2.1 million views. It got 47,000 retweets. Luxandlane trended nationwide. TikTok had 890,000 views and 12,000 reaction videos. Instagram hit 1.4 million views. Celebrities and activists shared it. Reddit put it on the front page of 2 major forums. People were angry. One person wrote, "This is why shopping while black is a real thing, even when you own the store, proud of Naomi Carter for using her platform." Another said, "Imagine how Kyle treated regular black customers who couldn't fire him." A lawyer commented, "This is textbook racial profiling, criminal false report, possible civil rights violation. She has every legal option." A business account wrote, "When the customer you racially profile is your billionaire CEO. A case study in career-ending choices." At 5:00 p.m. that same day, Luxandlane released a statement. "We are horrified by today's events. The employee has been fired. We are reviewing all policies and training. Ms. Carter has our full support." They announced a third-party audit of all store complaints. They promised $5 million for anti-bias training across all locations. Kyle tried to do damage control. He deleted his social media. Too late. Screenshots were everywhere. His wife posted a Facebook defense. "Kyle isn't racist. He was doing his job." The post got 8,000 negative comments. Let me know in the comments, do you think the internet response was fair or too harsh? 3 days later, Kyle tried one more desperate move. He went on a local talk radio show to tell his side. It backfired badly, but wait, there's more to this story. Kyle went on a conservative talk radio show. He claimed he was the real victim. The host asked him a simple question: would you have called police on a white woman in workout clothes? Kyle hesitated too long. "Well, I mean, it depends." That clip went viral too. Another 1.5 million views. The quote became a meme. "It depends" with his photo. It spread everywhere. On November 2nd, 2023, Naomi's legal team filed a civil lawsuit. The charges were false imprisonment, defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and civil rights violation under Illinois law. The lawsuit represented not just Naomi, but a pattern of behavior against other customers. During discovery, they got Kyle's text messages. He had messages with other manager friends. The messages included racial slurs and jokes about profiling. One text from August said, "Got another one out today," with a laughing emoji and a photo of a black customer's back. His HR file showed 7 complaints, but he only got coaching each time. 3 former customers came forward with similar stories from when Kyle was manager. Kyle's lawyer told him to settle. Kyle refused at first. "I'm not admitting I did anything wrong." But when his lawyer showed him the text messages, he knew he was in trouble. He faced possible criminal charges for the false police report. He faced a civil rights lawsuit with extra penalties. The amount they had to pay, I'll tell you right now. In January 2024, they reached a settlement. Kyle personally paid $85,000 to Naomi. She donated it all to racial justice organizations. Kyle also paid $23,000 in legal fees. His total personal cost was $108,000. His homeowner's insurance wouldn't cover it. They said it was an intentional act. Kyle got a permanent ban from all 247 Lux and Lane stores nationwide. He got a restraining order. He had to stay 500 feet away from Naomi Carter. When future employers called for references, they found out he was fired. He couldn't get another retail management job. He ended up working an hourly warehouse job for $18 an hour. He used to make $78,000 a year plus bonuses. His wife filed for divorce. She said the public humiliation and financial ruin were too much. Chicago PD filed a misdemeanor charge against Kyle. False report to police. Kyle pleaded guilty to avoid a trial. His sentence was 100 hours of community service, a $1,000 fine, and 1 year of probation. He had to complete an anti-bias training program. The criminal record affected his future job searches. Lux and Lane settled a separate lawsuit with 3 other customers Kyle had profiled. They paid $375,000 total. The company paid a $50,000 fine to the Illinois Human Rights Commission for not responding to complaints properly. They agreed to 5 years of monitoring by an independent auditor. In February 2024, Kyle posted a written apology on LinkedIn. He said he'd learned and grown. The comment section got thousands of responses calling it fake. He talked about his own struggles, his divorce, his money problems. People criticized him for making it about himself. He never used the words racial profiling in his apology. Naomi didn't respond to Kyle directly. She issued a statement. This was never about one person's punishment. It's about systemic change and dignity for every customer and employee. She started a scholarship fund for retail workers who want business degrees. In March 2024, Naomi gave a talk at a retail industry conference. It was like a TED Talk. The audience had 1,500 retail executives. Her speech was titled, "The customer you profile might own your company, but they shouldn't have to." Naomi spoke honestly. "I'm a billionaire CEO, I have Lori. I have resources, I have a platform, and I still felt small in that moment. I still felt that familiar shame. The one that says maybe I don't belong, maybe I'm not enough, maybe I should apologize for existing in this space. If I felt that, with all my power and privilege, imagine what your hourly employees face when someone screams at them. Imagine what customers without resources go through." She continued, "I built this company on values, dignity, respect, accessibility, but values on a website mean nothing if your employees don't feel empowered to enforce them." Kyle felt comfortable profiling customers because he'd done it 7 times before with no real consequences. "We failed those customers. I failed them." She had a message for workers. If you're a retail worker watching this, you don't deserve abuse. You don't have to accept being screamed at, threatened, or treated badly. Know your rights. Document everything. You are not powerless. She had a message for customers too. And if you're a customer, respect is not optional. It's basic humanity. The person helping you has feelings, dignity, and limits. They're not your servant. They're not your punching bag. Naomi explained what she wanted. "I want an industry where bias complaints get investigated immediately, not after 7 incidents. I want customers held accountable with bans, charges, and public consequences. I want a culture shift where everyone, from the CEO to the newest worker, gets treated with dignity." She ended with gratitude and a powerful statement. "Here's what I learned. Your position shouldn't determine your humanity. I shouldn't have to be a CEO to be treated with respect in a store, and neither should anyone else." The audience gave her a standing ovation. The video clip got 5 million views online. Naomi's speech mattered because this wasn't just one incident. It was a window into a much bigger problem. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, 82% of retail workers face customer abuse at least once a month. The National Retail Federation found that black customers are 3.5 times more likely to be followed by store security than white customers. This case was different because Naomi had resources. She had a legal team, she had media access, she had financial power, she could fire the person who hurt her. But what about the thousands of incidents where the victim is a worker making $15 an hour with no resources? After this case, things started to change. Lux and Lane created new policies, other major retailers followed. So let me ask you 3 questions. Do we actually believe retail workers deserve dignity and protection, or only when it makes good PR? Do we believe people should face real consequences for racial profiling, or only when the victim happens to be a billionaire who can fight back? Do we believe in real change, or are we just waiting for the next viral video to feel angry for 24 hours before moving on? Because if we don't fix the power imbalance that lets customers abuse workers, if we don't hold companies accountable for ignoring discrimination, if we don't pass laws that actually protect vulnerable people in retail, then we're just waiting for the next Kyle Peterson, the next ignored complaint, the next person who has to endure humiliation just to do their job. Comment below, do you think Kyle's consequences were enough, or should the legal penalties have been harsher? I want to know what you think justice looks like in cases like this. If you think stories like this matter, hit that subscribe button. We're going to keep exposing these patterns. We're going to keep demanding better. We're going to keep fighting for accountability, for dignity, for the idea that your job title or your bank account shouldn't determine whether you're treated like a human being. This isn't just about one racist manager or one billionaire CEO. It's about all of us. See you in the next one.